Hello everybody and welcome back to PeterVill Farm. Now I must just address an issue with yesterday's video. I was quite tired when recording the video and I did actually read out the wrong price for wool. I was in fact looking at the silage price, which is just here, whereas the wool price is just here. So as it turns out, it wasn't a massive problem except for me looking stupid, because the price is currently on the rise, so I'm still going to get a better price by, leaving it. I left it because the price doesn't look very good at 625, but yes. That is silage. So I apologise for all of you who did find that quite annoying. I always do that when I'm tired. I was really tired when I was recording the video. So yeah, it's not the first time I've done it and it certainly won't be the last time. These things happen, sadly. Anyway, today what we need to do is actually go and sort out the hay. So I don't know if we actually have a tedder, but I do need to actually tedder field, because we've got way too much grass and I do need to have some more hay. So if I just take a look in the tedder section, we can see that we don't have a tedder. So I think actually the cheapest one here is going to be absolutely fine. I have that attached to the back of the tractor, and I don't think we have a windrower either, because actually what I was doing before was just using the Crone Big M, which actually had the option to swath the grass instantly, so we didn't actually have to have a windrower, which is nice until you do need one for other jobs, such as when you've tedded the field. So I'm going to have to get one of those leased as well. Very good price actually, only £500 I paid for this, sort of £541 to have it for, well, an hour essentially. So yeah, let's just go and get it done. It isn't a big field, so it's just going to be an incredibly fast job. I think what I might do is actually do both the fields, because we do have two fields with grass, it's just grass swaths. So if I can spread that out and then row it up again, I can then pick that up with the loading wagon, and we'll then have a good supply of hay, because the horses are desperate for hay. And as well, we can give the sheep hay if we need to. We don't have to give them grass. So yeah, I think hay is just going to be the better product to have. So the field is just a bit... Oh yeah, I also need to spray it. I did say I was going to spray this field today, so hopefully I do have time to do that, because it is a bit of a priority. It is going to be affecting the yield if I just leave it with all of those weeds growing in there. The other thing I could do here is use the baler, but I don't think I need to have bales of hay. I think just picking it up with the loading wagon is going to be absolutely fine, because it means storing it. And what I could do with this is just have a full load, top up both the troughs for the sheep and for the horses, and then sell the rest, because it's not exactly hard to get another cut of hay. In fact, it's very easy. So I think that'd be the best thing to do. We'll just sell what we don't need, but to begin with we'll use everything, top up the troughs, and then at least we'll know that everything is going to be as good as it can be. Okay, so that is pretty much finished. I just have this very small piece left to do here. Of course, we still have the barrier of bales just around the headland, which is only a little bit annoying. They're going to have to be moved. As I've been saying for some time, it's just, yeah, finding the time to pick them all up. I'm going to have to do it though, because otherwise we're going to have this headland of bales continually in the way. But for today, I need to just focus on what we've got already going, the priorities. Now, I actually have remembered now what I was doing a couple of weeks ago, and I only cut a section of the field over there on the widespread mode, because I was actually only anticipating having a very small amount of hay to begin with. But yeah, obviously things have changed, and now everything is going to be hay. You can see this piece here was widespread, and the rest of it is in a swath. So that's fine, doesn't matter. It's just obviously a bit of a change of plan. So let's go and get the windrower. I can get it all rowed together, and then we can get it picked up. These horses in particular are absolutely desperate for their hay. They're also quite desperate for oats, but not quite as much as before, since I did give them some more oats yesterday, and I think it filled up about a third of their trough, so it was okay. So I do still have the tether for probably, I would say, 50 more minutes, but I just have no other uses for it, so it's just going to have to be returned. And now for the windrows. So I don't think I do own one. I will of course check to begin with though. It would be foolish to go and lease one when we already own one, but no, we don't appear to have anything here, so we'll go for, how much is that going to be? Yeah, that's alright, because of course we're going to make quite a bit of money from the hay, from what we don't actually need. If I use the very small one there, I think it was a Pottinger, I would be doing it for a very long time, so I couldn't really go for anything smaller than this one here. Okay, so back to the field, and we'll get those two done. Actually, if I did this properly, what I could do is have the John Deere 8R tractor following me with the loading wagon. That way we can get things done much faster. And there's not really a rush as such, it's just I do have quite a few things to do. I do also want to spray the field, so it would really help having a worker doing it. So I'll try and sort that out for when we are growing up in a minute. Yeah, that field is really out of control. These weeds have taken over. I'm very pleased though that they did put the weeds in the game, because I always enjoyed the soil mod for FS15, and I was disappointed when it wasn't in 17. So having weeds as standard is good. Obviously the soil mod was still far better, because it was just so much more realistic. You had to do so much stuff. Anyway, just make a bit of a lead here. There we go. Now I can get the loading wagon following me. Here we are. So this is going to be a good time for me to announce that there is going to be another machinery restorer video very soon. I can't give you an exact date, but it is going to be soon. And yes, it's another rotavator, but it is done differently to the previous rotavator. I have powder coated it, and it is actually my first time powder coating, so sort of a new experience for me. Come on, work. So yeah, very soon, machinery restorer, new video. Of course, if you haven't even subscribed to the channel, if you weren't aware of it, then please do head over there, take a look. And I still can't believe the amount of views on one of the videos. The rotavator from, I think it was did it in February. I don't know when the video went out exactly, but I was restoring it in February. It took a month working on it every day, and yeah, it's had something like 5.2 million views, which I'm so grateful for. Incredible. Still can't believe it. Yeah, it is my most viewed video, more views than any video on this channel. Anyway, we must continue. I do have a big loading wagon there, but despite it being large, I think it is still going to fill up quite quickly. Like I said, the first load will go over to the sheep, then to the horses, and then everything after that will go over to the sell point. And I won't look at the wrong price as well, although it is quite easy to mix up the price of straw, hay and grass. They all look very similar, the icons, but yeah, I think I'm familiar with it. This is straw, isn't it? No, this is straw. The V shape is straw. I think that's hay. I might get it wrong, but I think that's hay just there. So it doesn't matter anyway, the prices are so close to each other. Very similar. So yeah, let's get this all finished off. I think when the first load is done, I'll stop the time lapse and then I can head over to the two different farms and get everything sorted out. That was quite a fast time lapse, much faster than I was anticipating. And this thing has got a 50,000 litre capacity. I think I've got my work cut out. On the plus side, that means a lot of money. Now, despite there being obviously two different prices for grass and hay, the best price for both is actually at the barn, so I can't really go wrong here. But first, we have the sheep to feed. And then, like I've already said many times, we then have the horses to feed. But then after that, everything will be going to the barn, and I should be quite literally raking it in. Get it? Raking it in. Yes, I know it was a very bad joke. Right, so they're not going to take too much. No, not at all. And then, yeah, we've got the horses over at the other side of the map, so this is going to be a bit of a drive. So I suppose in the same trough as the oats went into. Oh yeah, definitely, because the oats are showing up as green. Let's just find the trigger. It's somewhere near the end, I think. At least it was for the oats, unless it's a different place for the hay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so they should take a bit more. I don't think it'll be the whole load. If it is, I'll be surprised. No. Okay, so yes, if we just take a quick look at the horses, you can see that they have all the hay they could ever need. They do still need to have some more straw, and the oats will be coming soon. It is actually a field of oats where all those weeds are, so it's not ripe yet, but when it is, the oats will be coming over to the horse farm, and then the rest will be sold, coming through horses. So yeah, everything from now onwards is going to be just sold at the barn. I really don't know how much money we're going to make from it. I don't think it's going to be millions of pounds, but it hopefully will be a few, well, maybe £50,000 if I'm very lucky. The price isn't very high for it, but there is a fairly substantial amount. As you've just seen, we haven't really picked so much yet, and that was 50,000 litres. Crazy numbers. And since the barn is in the opposite direction, I'm going to go back to the field first and fill it up. We still have 68% space left in the loading wagon, so yeah, it would be a fairly foolish idea, I think, to go and sell just 32%. We might as well do full loads at a time. Yeah, as you can see, that is filling up fast. Absolutely skyrocketing. Okay, so back on to follow me. My beacon of light really does go a long way up. Well, that is the first field finished, and I think you'll have seen we got 7,000 or so, £7,000 from that first field. But there was actually more than that, because we did have the amount that went over to the horses and over to the sheep. But yeah, I wasn't even cutting this for money, it was actually just to give to the animals. So any money we're making here is a bit of a bonus. However, we do need to cover the expenses of, well, leasing the windrower, the tedder, and also the loading wagon. I wish we did own a loading wagon, but they're actually surprisingly expensive. For example, I think the one we're towing there is £130,000, which I could never afford. So we're having to lease it. The expenses have just about been covered, so very soon we'll be making a profit. But then that would mean that the food, which we've given to the horses and the sheep, was essentially free, which is always a good way of working. Now that is almost full, and the bales, yes, are causing a problem. I know, I need to get them picked up. I don't know if the autostacker will work. The autostacker might pick them up. I'm very tempted to try it. Yes, that is going to be full any second. I would say before it even gets to the end. It's going to be close. Okay, it made it to the end. Let's see how far I can get. Or did it? Did it get to the end, actually? It did miss something, not too sure. Oh, it didn't. It did. It filled up before it got to the end. Wow. Okay, so yeah, let's go and tip this next load, load number 2. That'll be 100,000 litres in total, which have been sold. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's another £7,000. I don't think the price will have changed too much. I think was it 7,200 and something. We'll soon find out. 7,050. Is that the same price as before? Anyway, doesn't matter. Still a fairly good price. Let's move on. So I should continue from where it stopped, which was just here. Maybe all this will actually cover the herbicide for killing off those weeds. Okay, that was a bit of a tight turn. So I can go back on to follow me, and I think there's going to be, well, certainly another full load. About a load and a half by the look of it. Which will be, I would say, around £12,000 more in total. Now I know there is 15% space left in the loading wagon. This is going to be very close. So whether or not it's going to be able to pick it all up, I don't know. It's going to be frustratingly close. So if there is anything left, I think what I'll have to do is just pick it up and put it in the yard, ready for feeding to the sheep for next time. But it might fit. There is a possibility that it's going to fit. It doesn't seem to have yielded quite as well up here. 94%. Oh, it is going to fit. So if I just turn it off there, I can pick up the final piece myself. And then we'll have very close to 50,000 litres to sell once again. So £7,000. Now I'm pretty sure I do have a sprayer. If I don't, then again, it's going to be another expense. But I thought we had the trail one. I'll have to take a look. So it should be simple. Load it up with herbicide, then go. Okay, there we go. 6,947. It wasn't 100% full, so that is the reason for the reduction of almost over £100. Anyway, let's go. Narrow tyres might be an issue. And Matty Ferguson might be able to have narrow tyres. But yeah, more importantly to begin with, do we actually have a sprayer? Yes we do. It's not the trail one though, it is actually the mounted one. So in that case, I must have put it in a safe place. Aha, there we go, that looks safe to me. Yeah, so hopefully this tractor can have narrow tyres. It is a big tractor though. So I don't know, usually it is the sort of medium to small sized tractors which have the narrow tyres, whereas this is, yeah, I guess you could say it is a medium sized tractor, because it isn't a super large tractor. Let's just see what we can do here. Okay, so we've got wide tyres currently. No, you can't. So in that case, I'm just going to have to, sadly, have crop destruction switched off. I wonder if the John Deere 6930... that might have been able to have narrow tyres. Anyway, before I go anywhere, I do need to just go and unload this. Where should I put it? That'll do for now. I can move it with the skid steer. So that's empty. It did have liquid fertiliser in it, but now what I need to do is put herbicide in it. Beacons, they need to be turned off. There we go. Right, to the store. Herbicide tank, £2,400. I'm hoping that one tank will be enough, but it's very hard to guess. I suppose we're just going to have to come back for more. It's the only thing we can do. It's quite a lot of herbicide if you think about it. It's like 2 tons worth. And the sprayer is 90% full anyway, so only space for 10% more. And here we are. It would have been nice to have a slightly larger sprayer. It is a big field, but I'll see what I can do today. If we don't finish it, then I can obviously finish it tomorrow. So yeah, oh yeah, the back window situation again. Yeah, I had some suggestions to press G and then it will swap it between the tractor and the implement, but actually it still controls the back window even when you've got implements selected. So yeah, I'm in that position again where I can't raise the sprayer. almost finished. But yeah, I never figured out how to raise the boom, unfortunately. If I was using a different tractor, it wouldn't be a problem, just because it is coupled up. I think what I might have to do is just change the key binding, but I don't want it to mess it up for other tractors, which is my concern. I might just have to use something different. Anyway, we have this very small piece of weeds left here, and then the whole field will be completed. It's one way of killing off a field of weeds, although probably not best for the environment. But anyway, yes, there we go. Finished. So we do have another field, not quite as big, that can be done tomorrow. And I think, what's the next job? I'm just trying to think what the next thing to do is. Obviously we do have the harvest coming up soon, this field in particular, but that's not ready yet. I might have to do a bit more work in the forest, possibly, but we'll soon find out in the next episode. Until then though, we are going to leave this here. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and until next time, see you again soon. Bye for now.